Sometimes we believe that being a good person means we can change everyone we meet, that love can heal any wound, that patience can change any person. Everyone wants to think that kindness is a magic power that turns a cold heart into a warm one. We often ignore the warning signs because we want to be the hero of the story. This tale is important because it shows us that while kindness is a virtue, wisdom is a shield. Understanding the true nature of others is the only way to keep your inner peace safe. Let us walk down a quiet path where a simple choice changed a man's life forever. A long time ago, a man was walking through a forest during a very dry season. The sun was hot, and the ground was covered in brown leaves. Suddenly, he saw smoke rising from a small valley. He hurried closer and saw that a ring of fire had surrounded a single ancient tree. High up on a branch of that tree, trapped by the rising smoke, sat a large and colorful snake. The snake looked down at the man with wide, pleading eyes. It did not hiss in a scary way, but instead made a soft, sad sound. The man felt a deep pity in his heart. He knew the snake was in danger, but he also knew that snakes could be very dangerous to humans. "Please, traveler," the snake spoke in a calm, gentle voice. "The heat is growing and I have nowhere to go. If you do not help me, I will lose my home and my life. Please lift me down to the green grass across the path. I have been on this branch since morning, watching travelers pass by. Some threw stones at me. Others laughed at my fear. But you stopped. You looked at me not as a monster, but as a living soul. That alone tells me you are different from all the rest." The man hesitated. He stood at a distance and replied, "I have a kind heart, but I am not foolish. If I reach for you, you might use your strength to hurt me. That is what your kind does." The snake shook its head slowly. "How could I ever hurt the person who gives me a second chance at life? If you save me, I will be your friend forever. I promise to keep my mouth closed and my spirit peaceful. My gratitude will be like a wall of protection around you." The snake looked at the man's eyes and spoke again. "The world has been so cruel to me. Everyone runs away because of how I look. They don't see that I am just a soul trying to survive. You are different. I can see that you have a noble spirit. You are the only one brave enough to see the truth in me. Please don't let me pay for the mistakes of other snakes." The man stood still for a long minute. He remembered stories his grandfather told him about being careful with forest creatures. His mind told him to walk away and stay safe. But after he looked at the beautiful patterns on the snake's skin and the sadness in its eyes, the man decided to believe the promise. He found a very long, sturdy branch and reached it up into the tree. The snake slowly wrapped its long body around the wood. The man carefully brought the branch down. To keep the snake safe from the falling sparks, the man opened his thick traveling bag and invited the snake inside. He carried the bag carefully, walking away from the heat and the smoke. He walked for a long time until he reached a beautiful meadow with a cool stream and soft green grass. This was the perfect place for a creature to live in peace. The man knelt down on the grass and opened his bag wide. He smiled, feeling happy that he had done a good deed. "You are safe now," the man said softly. In that exact moment, as soon as the snake felt the cool grass, it turned around. Without a second of hesitation, it lunged forward and tapped the man sharply on the hand. The man jumped back, feeling a sudden chill run through his arm. He looked at the snake not with anger, but with a heart that was breaking from disappointment. He felt weak and sat down on a rock. "Why?" the man asked, his voice trembling. "I was the only one who stopped to help you. Everyone else walked past, but I stayed. I carried you in my own bag, close to my chest, protecting you from every spark and stone. I saved you from the fire. You gave me your word that you would be different. You looked into my eyes and promised. I believed you. I chose to believe you." His voice broke. "Why did you break your promise?" The snake began to slither away into the tall weeds, its body moving like a ribbon in the wind. It stopped for just a moment and looked back at the man. "You are a good man," the snake said calmly, "but you forgot one thing. I am a snake. Even if you save me from 1,000 fires, my nature does not change. I did not bite you because I am angry. I bit you because that is what I am. You knew I was a snake when you picked me up. I am a part of the forest, and the forest has rules. You tried to change the rules of nature because you wanted to feel like a hero. My nature is older than your kindness." The man watched the snake disappear. He realized then that his mistake was not being kind, but expecting his kindness to turn a snake into a dove. He felt a deep heaviness in his chest, not just from the snake's touch, but from the realization that his hope had been a lie. He had traded his safety for a promise that was never meant to be kept. We often act like the traveler in our own lives. We meet people who have a history of being unkind or dishonest. We see the fire in their lives. Maybe they are lonely or they have problems, and we want to save them. We tell ourselves, they will be different with me because I am so nice to them. We must understand that some people use their problems to attract helpers. They show you their fire so that you will pick them up, but they don't want to change. They just want to be safe enough to act like themselves again. When you try to fix a person who is prone to betrayal, you are not being a healer. You are being a victim. Real kindness requires wisdom. You can be a good person and still say no to someone who is dangerous to your peace. People show us who they are very early on. If someone speaks poorly of others, they will speak poorly of you. If someone takes without giving, they will take from you too. This is not because they hate you, but because that is their nature at this moment. You can forgive a person and still choose not to pick them up. Think of it this way. A cactus cannot give you grapes no matter how much water you give it. A cactus is meant to be a cactus. If you hug it, you will get hurt. This doesn't mean that cactus is evil, but it does mean you should not expect it to be soft. To find grapes, you must find a grapevine. To find trust, you must find someone whose nature is to be truthful. If this story touched your heart, please help us grow by clicking the subscribe button. It is a small click for you, but it helps us share these lessons with the world. If you have ever met a snake in your life, write the word wisdom in the comments to show that you have learned your lesson. Share this message with a friend who needs to hear it today.
If you have ever met a snake in
Let's
your life,
build a community where we keep our hearts kind, but our eyes wide open.
Learned your lesson.